I'm Leilani.
And I'm Mariella. And welcome to the VCMS History Newscast. Today we have a fun topic, a glimpse into the past.
We will talk about the three important women in history: Jim Crow laws, tenements, and women's suffrage.
We will start by each talking about some women who shaped history. Harriet Tubman was and still is a hero to me. Tubman impacted the time period quite a lot. She helped others gain freedom as the conductor of the Underground Railroad. She is known for freeing slaves and even escaped herself. She used the Underground Railroads to free them and give them freedom. Throughout her life, she became the first woman to lead an armed military raid. This is why she's a hero.
Elizabeth Cady Stanton. She was an activist for most of her life, most known for women's rights. She would mainly fight for suffrage. She actually drafted the first organized demand for women's suffrage. Due to her fighting, she changed the period and the nation, giving females more power. Stanton's life was full of interesting activities. She was also an author, lecturer, and, as I stated, a huge women's activist.
Now we'll be talking about Alice Paul. Alice Paul was most known for being an activist in the 20th century for the women's suffrage movement and equal rights for the U.S. She spoke about feminist rights and led charge for the movement, which impacted that time period. Throughout her life, she authored the Equal Rights Amendment in 1923. It spent the rest of her life fighting for its ratification to ensure the U.S. Constitution protects women and men equally. We'll be right back.
Doug, what do we always say, son? Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance.
So you only pay for what you need.
That's my boy. And you get out there and you make us proud, huh?
Bye, Uncle Emu.
Stay off the freeways. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, liberty, liberty.
Welcome back to the VCMS History Newscast, and me and Ria will share some information about Jim Crow laws.
The Jim Crow laws are enforced racial segregation in the South between the end of the Reconstruction in 1877 and the beginning of the Civil Rights Movement in the 1950s. The roots of the Jim Crow laws began as early as 1865, immediately following the ratification of the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery in the United States.
What the Jim Crow laws had to do during that time period was segregation that was still happening in everything that was done.
This term legalized racial segregation, and they are a collection of state and local statutes. This is why this term has to do with the time. Let's flip on over to Mariella with the information about the tenements.
Thank you, Ria. Now, tenements were a type of housing that violated lots of health codes and were terribly unsafe. Tenements were the main housing poor city folks would use back during the Gilded Age. This is one of the most important terms that you learn in history because it shows how many had to live during this time and how many people did not care what would happen to the people that got the short straw. Now, for our last segment, women's rights.
In the women's suffrage movement, it granted the legal right for women to vote. This increased votes by a lifetime.
This event changed the period because it was the first time women could vote, deciding things for the whole nation. It also gave females more power.
The most memorable about the women's suffrage movement was that they got introduced to the 19th Amendment.
That's all we have for you today. I'm Ria.
I'm Mariella.
And I'm Leilani, and this was the VCMS History Newscast. Have a great day!
This is how you do the Irish gritty. Pope Jesus. That's Pope Jesus.
Bombastic side eye. Criminal offensive side eye.
For women's suffrage. Due to her fighting, she changed. I'm restarting that.
Reroll.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This is like the bloopers. Elizabeth
She spoke about feminist rights and led charge for them. Okay. Oh my god. Okay.
I want to swing from
should be in choir, guys. Okay.